Richard and Maurice McDonald always dreamed of opening a restaurant. Their goal began in the small town of Arcadia, California. The hamburgers were sold for 10 cents each, and different from other franchises at the time, they were made very quickly, wrapped in paper, instead of plates, and the customers themselves took the orders. It didn't take long for the small food stall to be transformed into a restaurant with the famous yellow M that could be seen from anywhere in the Citadel. At that time, they didn't know it, but they just created the concept of fast food, working with the dynamic production of food, but always maintaining the quality of the products offered. Ray Kroc, the other character in this story, craved success. He started his journey selling disposable cups to establishments, but later entered the milkshake machine business, but he didn't have much success in this endeavor. When the brothers contacted him, placing an order for 6 of their machines, the self-made man thought he had won the lottery. He saw a lot of potential in the Fordist food system and noted that the cost to produce was small and the clientele endless. Realizing that the business was a gold mine, the businessman offered to work with the pair, with the proposal to expand the brand to the United States. The two were taken aback by the request, as they had failed experiences in trying to expand their trade, and their ambition was only to get $1 million before they were 50 years old. But Ray was an insistent man, and in 1955 he managed to sell licenses. In 1961, he resumed the national expansion plan. The first McDonald's hamburger cost US 15 cents, and as was common at the time, they hired 20 waiters who, on roller skates, delivered the customer's order in the car. This became popular and very profitable, making it tremendously successful and increasing the number of customers. When they realized that most of the profits came from the hamburgers, the brothers closed the restaurant for several months to create and implement an innovative quick service system, a kind of mass assembly for the hamburgers. When the restaurant reopened in 1948, it sold only hamburgers, milkshakes and fries, becoming a huge success, whose fame was spread by word of mouth. After a few years, in 1953, the McDonald brothers began creating franchises for their restaurants, with Neil Fox opening the first franchise, and the second restaurant opened in Phoenix, Arizona, the first to use the style based on the Golden Arches. The McDonald's, who were not interested in going ahead with Kroc's plan, decided to sell the franchise to the entrepreneur for $2.7 million and take 0.5% of the future profits that the business made. The deal was sealed with a handshake as both parties did not want to declare this extra income for revenue. McDonald's Corporation is the world's largest chain of fast food hamburger restaurants, serving approximately 68 million customers a day in 119 countries through 37,000 points of sale. A McDonald's restaurant is operated by any franchisee, affiliate, or the corporation itself. McDonald's Corporation income comes from rent, royalties and fees paid by franchisees, as well as sales at company-operated restaurants. In 2012, the corporation had annual revenue of $27.5 billion and profits of $5.5 billion. According to a 2012 BBC report, McDonald's is the world's second largest private employer, after Walmart, with 1.9 million employees, with 1.5 million working for franchises. McDonald's primarily sells hamburgers, cheeseburgers, chicken, fries, coffee items, sodas, milkshakes and desserts. In response to changing consumer tastes, the company has expanded its menu to include salads, fish, wraps, smoothies, and fruits. Most McDonald's restaurants offer counter and drive-through services, with indoor seating, and sometimes outdoor seating. Drive-through, Automac, or McDrive as it is known in some countries, often has separate booths for ordering, paying, and picking up products. In some countries, McDrive near highways do not offer counter service or tables. In contrast, places with high population density often do not have drive-through service. Also, there are some restaurants located, mostly in commercial areas, that offer walk-through service instead of drive-through. 1937, brothers Dick and Mac McDonald open a hot dog stand called Air Dome in Arcadia, California. 1940, the brothers move the Air Dome tent to San Bernardino, California, where they open a McDonald's restaurant on Route 66 on May 15th. The menu was based on 25 items, most of them barbecue. The first McDonald's hamburger cost US 15 cents, and, as was common at the time, they hired 20 car hubs. waiters who on skates delivered the customer's order in the car. This became popular and very profitable. 1948, after noticing that most of the money they made came from hamburgers, the brothers closed the restaurant for several months to create and implement an innovative rapid service system, a kind of mass assembly for the hamburgers. Then the Krocs lost their jobs. When the restaurant reopened, it started to sell only hamburgers, milkshakes and fries, becoming an extreme success. 1953, the McDonald brothers began franchising their restaurants, with Neil Fox opening the first franchise, and the second restaurant opened in Phoenix, Arizona. It was the first to use the style based on the Golden Boats. In the same year, the original restaurant was rebuilt based on this style. Also in 1953, the third restaurant was opened in Downey, California, on the corner of Lakewood and Florence Avenue, where it still works today, being the oldest restaurant in operation. 1954, milkshake machine entrepreneur and salesman Ray Kroc becomes fascinated with the McDonald's restaurant during a visit and discovers its extraordinary ability and popularity. Others who visited and were inspired by the McDonald's idea were James McLammer, founder of rival brand Burger King, and Glenn Bell, founder of Taco Bell restaurant. After seeing the restaurant in operation, Kroc proposed to the McDonald brothers, who were already selling franchises, to sell them outside the company's original location, California and Arizona, being itself the first franchise. Kroc worked hard to sell the McDonald's brand. He even tried to assert himself and his wartime friendship with Walt Disney in hopes of opening a McDonald's in Disneyland, which was about to open. But his project failed. 1955, Ray Kroc hires Harry J. Sonborn as finance manager for McDonald's. Harry Sonborn would become a major influence on the corporation until he resigned in 1967. 1955, Ray Kroc founds McDonald's Systems Incorporated. On March 2nd, a legalized structure for its planned franchises. And it still opens, on April 15th, in suburban Chicago, Des Plaines, Illinois, the brand's 9th restaurant. On the first day alone, total sales are $366.12. The company's literature often refers to this date as the beginning of the company, which was already 15 years old, taking the McDonald brothers out of history and giving greater value to the founder Kroc. The company still calls this McDonald's restaurant number 1. Early 1960s, one of Kroc's marketing ideas is his decision to sell McDonald's hamburgers to families and children. A franchise in Washington, D.C. sponsors a children's show called Bozo's Circus. Bozo was a franchise character, played, in Los Angeles, by Willard Scott. After the show was canceled, Goldstein hires Scott to play McDonald's new mascot, Ronald McDonald. In the first 3 television commercials the character was featured. Ronald McDonald ends up spreading to the rest of the country through a marketing campaign, but later it is decided that Scott and his original version of the fantasy are not suitable for the role. A full cast of characters from McDonaldland, is developed. 1960, Kroc changes his company name to McDonald's Corporation. 1961, the McDonald brothers agree to sell Kroc the rights to their company for $2.7 million, a sum Kroc secured with loans from various investors, including Princeton University. Finding the sum extremely high, Kroc decides to cut off relations with the McDonald brothers. The deal allowed the brothers to keep their original restaurant, but through an oversight, they are unable to retain the right to continue their McDonald's franchise. It was renamed the Big M, but Kroc bankrupted it by building a McDonald's just a block north. If the brothers had kept to the original deal, which entitled them to 0.5% of the chain's gross annual revenue, they and their heirs would be earning more than $100 million today. 1963, fish fillet is introduced in the city of Cincinnati, Ohio, at a restaurant located in a neighborhood dominated by Catholics who did not eat meat on Fridays. It was the first addition to the original menu and was taken nationally the following year, with the fish being sourced by Gorton's of Gloucester. 1967, the brand's first restaurant outside the United States opens in Richmond, British Columbia, Canada. 1967, the current design of the chain's restaurants, with mansards and tables inside the restaurant, is introduced. 1968, the Big Mac, similar to the Big Boy Burger at the restaurant of the same name, and hot apple pie are introduced to the menu. 1970, having changed hands in 1968, the original Big M restaurant closes. It was demolished 2 years later, with only part of the sign left standing. That part has since been restored. 1971, opens in July in the Ginza district of Tokyo, Japan, the first McDonald's in Asia. 1971, on August 21st, the brand's first European restaurant opens in Zaandam, near Amsterdam, Netherlands. 1971, in December, the first restaurant in Germany opens in the city of Munich. It was the first McDonald's to sell alcoholic beverages, beer. The other European countries soon followed in the early 1970s. 1971, the first Australian restaurant opens in December in the Sydney suburb of Yaguna. 1972, the first restaurant in France opens in the city of Créteil on 30 June, on the Avenue de la Brèche. 1973, the Quarteirão com Queijo is introduced on the menu. 1974, on October 12th, the first McDonald's in the UK opens. In Woolwich, southeast of London. It was the company's 3,000th restaurant. 1975, the drive-through system is implemented in January in the city of Sierra Vista, Arizona. It later became known as McDrive, or Automac in some countries. 1976, New Zealand's first restaurant opens in Pereira. 1979, the first restaurant in South America is opened in the city of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The unit, located on Rua Hilario de Galvia, in Copacabana, is still in operation. 1979, McLanche Fellas enters the menu in the United States. 1980, McDonald's introduces McChicken, the first chicken sandwich. Unsuccessfully, it was removed from the menu and later re-released after the success of McNuggets. 1983, McNuggets are introduced on the menu, replacing McChicken. 1981, the first restaurant in the city of Sao Paulo is opened, located on Avenida Paulista. Currently, unlike the first branch in Rio, the Pioneer McDonald's building in Sao Paulo is no longer in operation as it now houses a Santander Select branch. 1984, no dia 16 de julho, James Oliver Huberty ataca restaurante do MC Donald's com uma arma, matando 21 pessoas em San Isidro, California no chamado massacre do McDonald's. 1984, a campanha se torna dos principais patrocinadores dos Jogos Olímpicos de 1984. Os restaurantes nos Estados Unidos perdem dinheiro como promoção when America wins, you win, quando a America ganha, vos ganha, após a União Soviética ter boicotado os Jogos, o que resultou num grande número de medalhas ganhas pelo país e no maior prejuízo histórico da ida. 1985, foi a lançamento oficial da primeira edição do Festival Rock in Rio. Cerca de 1.200.000 sanduíches foram consumidos dentro da cidade do Rock nos 11 dias do evento. 1986, o McDonald's abre sua primeira franquia na Itália, na capital Roma. Para combinar com a paisagem histórica perto dos degraus da Piazza da Spagna, ganha uma fachada menos chamativa e define novos padrões para decoração interna. 1988, o McDonald's abre seus primeiros restaurantes em países comunistas da Mjikra, na Hungria e em Belgrado, capital da então Yugoslavia. 1990, em 31 de janeiro, o primeiro McDonald's da União Soviética abre em Moscou. Foi durante algum tempo o maior McDonald's do mundo, hoje maior fica em Pequim. Por motivos políticos, o McDonald's Canada foi o responsável independentemente, com pouco apoio da matriz norte-americana. Uma das paredes no restaurante moscovita mostra juntas as bandeiras canadense e soviética. Para superar problemas de abastecimento, a empresa criou sua própria cadeia de fornecedores, inclusive fazendas da então União Soviética. 1991, e inaugurado o primeiro restaurante em Portugal. No Cascais Shopping no dia 23 de maio. 1992, M23 de abril, o maior restaurante McDonald's do mundo e dos dias atuais se inaugurando em Pequim, capital da China, mais de 700 assentos. 1994, e inaugurado o primeiro McDonald's na África, na cidade do Cairo, Egito. 1996, o primeiro McDonald's indiano abre. 1996, o primeiro McDonald's abre na Bielorrússia, que se torna o centésimo país a receber uma franquia. Na cerimônia de abertura, a polícia bielorrussa é acusada de uso brutal da forca contra membros do público que queria entrar no restaurante em Minsk. 1998, Portugal e aberto restaurante no Parque das Nações, local onde se realizou a Expo 98. A essa altura era o maior da Europa. 2000, Eric Schlosser publica Fast Food Nation, Nacal Fast Food, livro que critica os restaurantes fast food geral, particularmente McDonald's. 2007, uma exposição no Melanchini dari de fast food McDonald's São Petersburgo, na Rússia, dixu pelo menos 6 mortos, incluindo 2 crianças. 2014, empresa registrou o nome McBrunch para as refeições que serão servidas entre o café da manhã e o almoço. 2017, a McDonald's terminou o contrato de patrocínio assinado com o Comitê Olímpico Internacional. E fim de uma parceria estratégica com 41 anos. Maurice McDonald died in 1971 of a heart attack, overcome by anger at being deceived. Already his brother, Richard, tried not to resent the matter and had a quiet life until he was 89 years old. Ray Kroc died of heart failure in 1984, with a fortune estimated at $1.6 billion. The hamburger empire he built is now valued at $17 billion. If you liked it, leave your likes and subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends, dog, parrot, turtle, share it with everyone. Until later.